Hello. So, here we are. Tuesday Night Live. So I think this is, hello Alison. Hello Amy Bass. Amy Bass. It's been too long. Okay, so tonight, I forget even how long we've been in lockdown now, but it seems like forever. But basically, I just feel like I've been sat down forever. And so I figured what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do, this is probably going to be half an hour, this class. But it's going to be a yin class. And anybody who sort of comes to my classes or certainly has been on one of my retreats, they'll know this class. All you need is a cushion or a cup. If the cushion's thin, get a couple of cushions or a yoga block, and that is all you need really. And the rest of it is just sort of allowing yourself to relax in the posture. But we're going to use the block and what have you. And while we do that, we'll do a little bit of breathing just to energize the body through the pranayama. So just a little bit of breath work. Well, really super simple. Okay, so like I said, all you will need for this is your yoga block, or like I said, a cushion. So it's basically a yin class. So if you suffer from sort of any sort of tension in the lower back and things like that, one, it can be tightness in the hips, but generally it's this sort of sitting position that we start to round in the lower back, so we don't actually get this nice back bend. So all the tendons and ligaments on this side of the spine, if you like, the front of the spine, are starting to shorten and get shorter, while all the tendons and ligaments on the back of my spine are kind of getting longer because I'm stretching. So when I come to stand up, there's this real imbalance in my spine. So, and that's kind of what you're experiencing, is this where everything's just trying to push and pull itself back into its normal position, because the spine wants to be, you know, it's designed a specific way so because the head is so heavy. So this is why it has these nice curves in the spine, because it acts like a suspension on a motorbike or a car. Like the weight is up here, but the spine, because of its curves, it just takes that out, because really we shouldn't have this great big weight up here at the very top. It should make us topple over. But because of the way the spine works, it doesn't. So the spine has something called intrinsic equilibrium, where it's always trying to draw itself back to its natural position. So if you're starting to, you know, your core is gone and you're starting to slump, then all of this lengthening and shortening of the muscles, when the spine is always trying to pull itself back to its natural, you know, its natural position, is then that's what we experience, is all that tightness, and it is the ligaments and the tendons. So this is like a quick release practice that, like, it, and it's the easiest ever. I mean, it is just the easiest ever. So we're going to take the yoga block. Hey Shaq, come in for class. And then you want to sit up onto your yoga block or your cushion, and then I like to do this personally with my feet in butterfly and my knees open out to the side, because it sort of gives me a bit of a hip opener. Hey Shaq, come on, in the way. And then shift it forward a little bit, so you want the block to be sort of just underneath your tailbone, and then come down onto the elbows and let yourself lie down. And there you are, that's it. This is position number one. So if the hips are really screaming at you, you can straighten the legs out like this. But basically you want to make sure that that cushion, that block, is right underneath your pelvis. So it's lifting your pelvis up off the floor. So it creates this natural back bend. And you'll probably feel it straight away. You'll be going, oh, 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 all these sort of noises. But really just big inhale and exhale. And just do 2 or 3 nice big deep breaths like that. As you exhale, just sort of sigh it out, just like you're letting go of something. And then you'll just feel the body want to just center itself down. You can close the eyes here. The palms can be facing up or down, whichever is most comfortable. You can bring them onto your tummy, onto your chest. Really, because all the work is naturally happening by using the block. So as you get there, you can see we've created this back bend down here in the lumbar, and that little arc that you're feeling is then tendons and ligaments just settling down and finding the place. But you'll find that once you're here for a while, you'll forget about all of that, and you'll be able to just completely relax, close the eyes. And just bring your focus to the breath. So don't try and breathe in any particular way, just breathe normally. But observe the breath. You'll notice that some breaths are just normal length, in and out, in and out, in and out. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a big deep breath will just come all of its own. And as you observe the breath, you'll notice that some breaths just hardly even happen at all. So we're going to do our first breath work, which is we're going to do a 3-stage breath. So how this works is we're going to take a nice big inhale, like fill yourself all the way up, belly, chest, as much air as you can get in. And on the exhale, we're going to exhale everything out. So what you want to do is lift the pelvic floor, draw the tummy in, and really push all of that air up and out of the body. And then the inhale gets split into 3 stages. So the first stage goes below the belly button here. So I would inhale the first third of the breath, but the belly doesn't lift up and the chest doesn't fill. I just focus on breathing to just below the belly button, and then we're going to hold that breath just for a couple of seconds. And then the second stage is to inhale into the tummy. So the tummy would fill up, but the chest doesn't rise, and we hold that just for a couple of breaths, a couple of seconds, and then inhale into the chest, so we fill ourselves all the way up and hold that for just a couple of seconds. Okay, so take a nice big inhale, fill yourself all the way up, get as much air as you can possibly get in, and then exhale fully. Pull up on the pelvic floor, draw the belly button in and up, and push all of that stale air out of the body. Get it all the way out, don't let any stay in. And then inhale the first third of the breath to below the belly button. Hold that breath, don't let the belly fill. Imagine you're pushing that down into the pelvis. Inhale the second third into the tummy. Hold that there. You feel the tummy rise, but the chest doesn't. Hold the breath. And then engage the core like again, imagine you're pushing that down into the body, deep into the pit of the tummy. And then inhale fully, fill yourself all the way up, fill the chest up, hold that breath there, take another little sniff, hold, relax the shoulders, relax the face, and then exhale fully. So lift the pelvic floor, draw the tummy up and in, and push all of that stale air out of the body, just push it all out, don't let any stay in, and then just return to just normal breathing again, just observing the breath, maybe observing the sensations in your body. So what we do when we fill the lung up like this, I mean, in an ideal world, we'd breathe like that all the time. We'd inhale and fill all of the lung up, and we'd exhale and empty all of the lung out. But we generally only used about a third of the lung, which is the top half up here, like up in here. So we seldom really get a full breath, even when we're walking, really. I mean, maybe if you run, things like that, you know, it expands the chest, but generally in everyday life, you know, if you work in an office or something like that, we're only using a very, very small amount of the lungs. So then when we finish work and we start to try and do something and we wonder why we're so tired, it's because we haven't got any oxygen in the system or prana. So we're yawning all the time, trying to get more air in, you know, just to try and balance that system out. So we'll go again, take a nice big inhale, fill yourself all the way up, fill the belly up, fill the chest up, as much air as you can possibly get in. And then exhale fully. Pull up on the pelvic floor, pull the belly button in and up, push every last single bit of that air out. Remember, don't let any stay in. And then inhale the first third of the breath to below the belly button. Again, just hold that there. Push it down. It's a bit like trying to hold a football underwater. It's trying to get up, but just engage the muscles, push that down. Inhale into the tummy. Fill the tummy up, but don't let the chest fill. Again, engage all the core muscles as if you're pushing that deep down into the core of the body. And then inhale fully. Fill yourself all the way up. Fill the chest up, as much air as you can possibly get in. Hold that breath there. Take another little sniff and hold. Relax the shoulders, relax the face, relax any tension in the body. And exhale fully. You pull up on the pelvic floor, draw the belly button in and up, push all of that stale air out of the body. Don't let any stay in there. When you think it's all gone, have that final little push, and then just return to gentle, normal breathing. So again, just observe the breath, observe any sensations in the body. You might have tingling in the fingers, maybe, in the face while you were doing it. So this is just the prana, the oxygen getting into the system, and that all them tingling sensations is that's oxygenated blood getting around the body. So you're experiencing that as it's pushing through all of that droll, not enough energy that gets stuck in your muscles. Just with this breath work, we can really energize ourselves. And so one more round. Big inhale, fill yourself all the way up, fill the belly up, fill the chest up, as much air as you can possibly get in. And exhale fully, you pull up on the pelvic floor, draw the belly button in and up, push all of that stale air out of the body, don't let any stay in. And then inhale the first third of the breath to below the belly button. Hold that breath there. Now your mind-body connection will be getting strong now, so really focus on that, push that deep into the body, hold the breath, just really control the core. Inhale into the tummy. So you feel the tummy fill up, maybe the floating ribs a little bit, but the chest stays, and then engage that core. Really squeeze as if you're trying to wring out every single last drop of prana or oxygen out of that breath. And then inhale fully, fill yourself all the way up, fill the chest up, as much air as you can possibly get in. Hold that breath there. Remember, relax the shoulders, relax the face. Take another little sniff and hold. And exhale fully, pull up on the pelvic floor, draw the belly button in and up, push all of that stale air out of the body, don't let a single drop stay in, and then just return to gentle, normal breathing. Give your shoulders a little shake on the floor, your arms, your feet, just let the last little release in that lower back. And then hug the knees into the chest, make yourself into a little tight ball, so you just have that little counter stretch. Just enjoy that for a moment, and then rolling onto your left hand side and coming up to seated, and I shall show you our next position. So I told you, super easy but super effective. So all of that, when you first went in, you probably experienced that now when you're trying to get out, because it's going the other way. So this is the balance that we're getting in the spine. So the secret of a good old age, just while we're on the subject, is a good, strong, flexible spine. Because that's where all of the information comes down through that and then filters out through the rest of the body. So if the spine is tight and the back is tight, well, therefore, like the information getting through is going to be the same, isn't it? It's going to struggle to get through. So if we focus on keeping the spine supple and strong, you know, then as we get older, then all that information is still getting around the body. So we should have more energy to actually enjoy our older age. I say, oh, you know what I mean, mine, you know what I mean, I'm already there. But I'm saying for them people who are a bit younger than Davo here, you know, let this be an example. You know, I'm still going. So, your block, this time, we're going to move up from where we were sitting on it. And then you want to put it right between your shoulder blades like this. So, you know, it's not down in your lumbar, it's up. And if you can feel it hitting your shoulder blades like that, and then you want to lay that down. Make sure it's right underneath the shoulder blades, and then just let yourself lay down. So let your hands come out to the side. It should feel when you lay down like your sternum, your chest bone in the middle of your chest, that's the highest point. So if that feels like it's sort of leaning back, the block could be a little bit too close to your lower back, and move it up a little bit. But if it feels like it's your head is lifted, because really you want the head to be laid back a little bit, and you want them shoulders to feel like they're opening out down to the floor. And again, just give yourself a little bit of movement in there. You know, seldom do we get to where we're going straight away. So you can see how now we've moved the back bend just further up the back into the thoracic in between the shoulder blades. So this part of the spine has as much flexibility as the bottom half of the spine. It does all the same things, it moves in all the same directions and everything. It's just that it has an awful lot of other stuff sort of connected to it as well, like ribs and things like this. So we tend to do the majority of our bending forwards and things just in that lower back area. So it means the top half of the back here between the shoulder blades, because it's not moving and doing its thing, it gets tight. And then also, because it's not moving, the muscles around it aren't moving. So that's when we get likes of the toxins and things that we get, I mean, just through breathing air, you know, I mean, you can, whatever, you know, white bread, anything, you can pick toxins up so easy. They're just in your body. But these little areas where the muscles don't get to work, that's where they get stored. They go, oh, okay, we go in there and they store, they get stuck, and then the next one comes, until we get that knot underneath the shoulder blade. You know, that knot underneath the shoulder blade is exactly that. We haven't been moving the muscles, because when the muscles move, it pushes and pumps blood through, so the toxins can't get stuck, so they go through our general system and get filtered out. So you might feel really tight here. So just let yourself be there. So we're going to do a different type of breath here. It's referred to as the yogic breath, but if you think of it as the breath, how the breath works is, it's if you can imagine yourself being like a glass and you were filling the glass up, you would have to fill the glass up from the bottom of the glass all the way up and to the top. So this is what we were doing in the last breath work that we did. We breathed below the belly button into the tummy and into the chest. So if you imagine that was a glass, it would be filling the glass up from the bottom of the glass all the way up to the top of the glass. But to empty a glass, you would have to empty it from the top. You can't empty a glass from the bottom. So on the exhale, it's the chest goes down first, then the tummy, and then to the pelvic floor to finish the breath. And then the cycle starts again. So you from where you've exhaled from would where you would inhale to. So then you were filling up and then you were emptying out. So this is something to help you visualize the practice in your mind as you do it. Okay, so eyes are closed and just visualize that when the breath is going in, it's filling you up, and when you're exhaling, it's emptying out. So we're going to start by getting rid of any air that is in there already. So take a nice big inhale, fill yourself all the way up, that big expansive breath into the heart space, and then exhale fully. So it's again, lift that pelvic floor, draw the belly button in, and kind of push as much air of that out as you possibly can. So we get a fresh place to start, and then just nice steady breaths. You want them deep, long inhalations, but steady, not quick. Breathe into the pit of the tummy, and then as you start to inhale, inhale into the tummy, up and into the chest, until you're completely full. And then there's always that moment of silence, that pause between, and then exhale, exhale from the collarbones, the chest, the tummy, and then the pelvic floor is the final part. And then inhale all the way down to the pelvic floor. And then as you fill up, fill the belly up, let that breath fill the belly and up and into the chest and all the way. Nice deep breath. And then there's the pause. And then exhale. So exhale from the collarbones, down through the chest, the tummy, all the way down to below the belly button. And then inhale all the way down to below the belly button. Let the belly start to fill. Let the chest fill until you're completely full. Pause and then exhale. So keep that steady rhythm going and just do 5 full breaths of your own. So at your own time, your own length. Everybody inhale and exhale will be a different length, but find the ones that are comfortable for you. You want it to be a really deep, long inhalation and a nice, long, steady exhalation. You want to try and keep them being around about the same length, so the exhalation lasts as long as the inhalation and vice versa. But follow that breath in your mind. Follow that breath up your nose, down the throat, all the way down to the pit of the tummy, and imagine it expanding up, opening up the body, energizing all of them internal organs, the heart, the lungs, on the end of your last exhale, just sort of come back to normal breath. Just let the breath come and go. And just observe any sensations that you might have in the body. Maybe how that's actually opened up the front of the chest. The sternum feels not so tight, the shoulders are opening. Again, any tingling sensations in the body as we start to bring that prana, that energy, that oxygen into the system. Okay, hugging the knees into the chest. Make yourself into a little ball. Just counter that for a moment and then rolling onto your left hand side. And when you're ready, come into seated and I shall show you the next move. There's only 2 of these left, 2 of these wonderful block moves left. So this one is pretty simple. If you come to kneeling, you'll feel you've got your hip bone here, which is like at the front. So if you've got that and you come down about 4 inches, you'll feel your hip joint. So this is where your leg comes up and joins into your pelvis here. You can actually feel it if you push in. It's actually like, you know, it's a bone, it's right there. So this is where you want your cushion or your block is right, that hip bone wants to be right in the middle of that block, and then just come down so it's on its side like this, and then you're just going to come down to lying down to go like this. So you can see, I shall shift down a little bit because I think my head disappeared. Okay, so what you don't want to do is kind of roll forward like this. So this right shoulder is rolling towards the floor. You want to try and keep this right shoulder facing straight up towards the ceiling, and then the same with your right hip. So if you keep your left leg bent and then just straighten your right leg, you'll feel the straightening of the leg is like, oh, okay, now I understand where this is. So we've gone for this little, we've done the back all the way backwards, and now we're going side to side, because when was the last time you did this? So again, be careful not to roll backwards to the side like this. Keep that shoulder up. And then with your right hand, this is going to spoil all this chilled out thing incidentally, but bear with me. With your right hand, make a fist, and then around that hip, you're just going to, so you'll feel the hip bone, the hip bone that's resting on this side is in the same place, obviously. So you want to go all the way around the front of that and around the back of it like that, and just punch into there. Now this can be really tender because this is one of them places that all of them toxins can gather. So this is like, you know, you might be thinking, oh my God. Well, if you are thinking, oh my God, keep going, because it's a surefire sign that you need to be doing this. If you're not feeling anything, you're probably pretty good. You know, you're probably all right. But me, ow, ow, ow. But you'll find most people with backache, it's coming from the hamstrings and from here. It's got really nothing to do with the back at all. It's just that's where the experience of the pain is in the lower back or around that area. But really, you'll find that if all this is tight, I mean, you can push in with your thumb, make circles around there, see if you can find any tight spots, and then just let your head come down, and then you can create that full arch. And again, remember, try and keep that shoulder facing straight up and the right hip facing straight out up, and that top leg is extended. And again, just let that go. You'll find you're almost trying to keep yourself up, but just let go of it. Just the whole aim of this is that's the hard bit of yin yoga. It's not really the poses, it's the mental mindset that gets connected to the poses. So if your experience is like that, then that's what it's going to be like. But yin yoga kind of knocks that out of you really by making you stay there. So really, eventually, you've just got to give in and just stay there. I remember pigeon was the one for me. The pigeon pose. I used to think it was just a nemesis pose, and then one day somebody made me hold it for over 30 minutes on each side, and you know, it was the states of mind that my head went through in it over that period of time, just in this pigeon pose, was, some of it was, you know, horrendous. It was just all, oh my God, you know, but eventually there was a complete letting go of it, and you could, you know, and you could observe it. It wasn't that it wasn't happening, it was happening, but my attachment to it was gone, and I could observe it. And once I could observe it, then I could relax, you know. But as long as there's that mental attachment of like that, then that's going to be the experience. But if you can let go of that and then observe it and try and relax rather than move into the tension, then you're this helps you practice all over, you know, even your vinyasa practice. You know, if you can lose that attachment to whatever it is, you know, whether it be, you know, I've got the best warrior or whatever, you know, I mean, and just have the experience of doing your yoga, because it's always right. There is no wrong way of doing yoga. There's a safe way of doing it and there's an unsafe way, but there isn't a wrong way. As long as you're moving and you're experiencing your breath and you're removing yourself from all of this stuff outside. Every now and again you need to just go in and check in with yourself and just say, you're right, here's some breath, here's a little bit of time to release you back. I mean, and that's as simple as it is, really. It's just every now and again check in and say, how are you? You know, we ask everybody around us all the time how they are. What can I do for you? Is there anything I can do? You know, but then do we ask ourselves that question? Seldom, you know. And even as a teacher, you know, you're constantly, you know, it's going that way. So this is for any other teachers who are out there. And remember, you know, this giving, and, you know, as you're teaching all the time, who gives back to that person, you know? So always remember, take some time out for yourself. Even, you know, the best athletes I've ever worked with, you know, I've had to tell them to take a day off. Tell them to take a day off, because it, you know, it helps you, it makes you reset, you recalibrate. So when you're ready, rolling over and onto your tummy and off your block. And when you're ready, just come straight round to the other side. And again, find that hip joint, pop it right into the middle. Hello, Molly. Hello, Molly. You coming in, joining in. And then once you're there, let yourself lie down, straighten that top leg. And remember, keep that left shoulder facing up and the left hip facing up. And then you can make a fist and just go around that hip and just release everything. Again, you can, if you want to put your thumb in there and just make some circles, massage any areas that you feel are tighter than others. And then just let yourself lie down, let the head come down. So really let yourself create that arch in the spine. Remember, you know, have a little move about. You might just find it releases a little bit more. But all the time, again, it's that letting go of the attachment. I mean, if you can get to the stage where you can kind of do these yin practices and fall asleep while you're doing them, you know you've lost your attachment. Molly, you just moved in. You just moved in. When you're ready, rolling onto your tummy, coming off your block, and then coming around and onto all fours. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and then on an exhale, draw the tummy in, turn the tailbone under, let the head hang for your cat pose, and then exhale, breathe into the belly, draw the shoulders back, stick your tail in the air, lift the head, look up, draw the shoulders down the back, and then exhale, draw the tummy in, inhale, open, look up. So really, just do 3 or 4 of these at your own sort of, I mean, you might want to get to the exhale and go, oh, that feels good, I'll stay here for a moment before the inhale. But this is all about just creating that movement and flexibility in the spine. Draw the tailbone under. And then walk your feet back a little bit and your hands forward a little bit. So, Molly, are you just going to stay there? That's it. Okay, so let's see how this works. We're going to move our sit bones back towards the back right hand edge of the mat, and then to the left, and then forward. So you're making big circles really. So as you come around to the right and to the left, you might feel that area around the outside of the hip that we were working before, and then in the opposite direction. And then coming to all fours again, and then you just want to try and make like a little snake movement side to side in the spine. Just release any last tension in the spine, and then come to seated. So remember, you can sit up onto your block, or you can sit on your cushion. We'll get into a comfortable position. Bring the thumb and the first finger together on each hand, and bring the hands down to the knees, and relax the shoulders down the back. Relax the tummy, close the eyes, and just feel like that. If you're on a cushion or you're on a block, it's just lifting up your tailbone so it helps support the spine, and then just closing the eyes. So I'm going to do an Om meditation. So a rolling Om meditation, normally I would do, and there'd be a lot of us in the room, and we'd all start at the same time doing Om. And then again, because everybody's length of breath is slightly different to everybody else's, then it sort of goes out of sync. But you just inhale, Om, exhale, and then inhale, Om, exhale, and you just do it to your length of breath. So if you would like to join in on this, I don't know how this even works in a digital, on a digital thing, but I am going to be doing an Om meditation, which means I will be just repeating Om, the mantra Om, over and over again. So if you feel at home that you would like to join in with that, feel free, I think is what I'm trying to say. So take a big inhale, fill yourself up, and exhale, just relax, let the shoulders relax, spine is long, and just eyes are closed. hand to the heart, the right hand to the tummy. And just take a few moments for your gratitude practice today. What you feel grateful for in this moment in your life. And feel that gratitude in the heart space. Bring the hands to a prayer at the third eye. Lower them to the heart space. Look after the universe that you live in and the planet that you live on. Take care of all your family and friends. By all your family and friends, I mean all living creatures that live, walk and breathe upon this earth. Inhale the hands to the third eye. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste, everybody. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. Here we are. So, I think this Friday and next Tuesday, I'm not going to be able to do the classes. But what I will try and do is I will post some classes onto my YouTube page. So, if you haven't been to the YouTube page already, it's just simple, Dave Smyth. And then go and just subscribe. And there's 100 videos on there. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Alison. Thank you. Okay, so next Friday and Tuesday, I won't be able to do classes because I'm into doing some big stuff. But I will post some classes on my YouTube page. So if you want to carry on doing the yoga, please go to my YouTube page. And if you like the videos, please hit like, please hit subscribe, hit the little bell, all of them things. And I'll see you really soon. And hopefully, when we get back, we'll do it louder and prouder than ever. We'll do it in the garden or something like that. Hopefully the weather will be great and the sun will be out and they'll be letting us out of lockdown. So in the meantime, don't go crazy in lockdown. Breathe, move your body. It really, really helps you in your mental state. You know, just move that body. Move that body. So, see you next time. All Dave, all night on Dave TV. See you later.